treating it like a threat. And one of the things that can't be attacked is your self-custody Bitcoin. And one of the things that can be attacked is the ETF. You can't be exposed to that. That's my view. It's not a good idea. And by the way, that'll hit MSTR too. It'll probably hit other stuff as well. Friends and enemies, welcome back. Canadian Bitcoiners podcast.
Friends and enemies, welcome to the CBP. Want to be better informed? Listen to Len and Joey. Sponsors taken care of right off the top. Bull, Bitcoin, and easy DNS. The media is feeding the slop. It doesn't matter what topics discussed. Quality entertainment and information you can trust.
That's being planned or at least discussed. You know, we're not going to allow people to buy
entertainment and information you can trust. Send the guy some value, boost them with some stats. Bitcoin is a scarcity asset, I mean it's just a fact. Geopolitical, national, down to the local cloud.
Friends and enemies, welcome back to the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast. Happy Labor Day. Hope you're enjoying your life as a util. I'm here with my co-host Len as always. Len, you know a util is what economists have to use to measure productivity in their hypothetical economies, in their academic settings, because there's not really a good way to measure economies' productivity using real world units. So they call it a util. Did you know that?
No.
Oh.
No, I've never been. Are we going to be described as utils or something?
Yeah, me and you are utils. We're producing, or we're util producers. Maybe we're producing utils. We are yielding utils, I think.
Do I have to have a new driver's license to reflect this?
I don't know. Good question. I'm not sure who we talked to about that, but
passport, birth certificate. I need if I have to get everything done. This seems like I have to take several weeks off work to do this.
Minimum, I'd say minimum several weeks.
It's by the time you gather document here, wait in line, submit, wait, answer questions. Not good, man.
100%.
Okay, let's keep this util show moving. The CV utils.
Well, what's going on? Well, yeah, we thank Dan maybe first, Dan Carlin last week for stepping in for me while I was recovering from my surgery. Yeah, I appreciate that. He did a great job on listening to the show.
He did it all the way from a very far location, so he had to stay up late in order to do this, given the time difference. So it was kind of, it wasn't the easiest thing for him to do. He had to do a little bit of juggling around his schedule. So big thanks to him for staying up late. Yeah,
appreciate that. And he was good. I was doing the shorts from that show yesterday or today, I forget when, but listened to a few of those as well. And I will say that, you know, sometimes when we have a second guest that's not you or me, so, you know, if we're doing a co-host gig with someone else or whatever, the shorts are not friendly because you and me have a really good cadence together. I know when you're going hard and you know when I'm going hard, and we let each other kind of get the points in, and the AI that does our shorts likes that. And, you know, when you're going through the shorts to see which ones are worth putting out there, there's a bunch. You and Dan had a bunch too. That's probably the first guest we've had where there was a bunch of good shorts to put out. So I'm happy about that. And once again, Dan, thank you.
Thing is, too, on top of that, there was the added variable to consider. There was a lag when he finished. I had to predict before he stopped that he's going to stop, and the same thing for vice versa. He had to predict before I stopped, and stuff, because there was a second delay. You and I, because we're so close, there's not much lag, if anything.
Right.
You and I was a little bit different. So that was good to hear. So there you go. So when I eventually leave the CBP, we have now another person that could take place for me. So Dan is on the short list of individuals that could replace
we got to mention Boomer too. Boomer, you noticed that I put out shorts when you co-host the show too. So I'm not naming a lot of names, but you know, you obviously get your shorts out as well. So,
and there was a few of them that
good for you.
Boomer,
good for you too. Yeah,
that got a lot of views.
No, there's a bunch. I know. Yeah.
I think one of our biggest viewed shorts is from him. In fact,
I love it.
Yes.
Let's get to the sponsors. EasyDNS. Mark is a friend of the show, a friend of Len and I. Friendly neighborhood registrar. Best place for you to host your content. You can buy a domain from Mark. You can port a domain over to EasyDNS. Both of them are easy. Have your data protected. Everything Mark does by default is privacy focused. Obviously, there's not an ease of use compromise either. People who go to Mark for his services love them. We hear about it all the damn time. And I know you guys appreciate Mark, also a Bitcoiner, obviously. And on that note, you can get some virtual private server toys while you're over there. BTC Pay Server, Nostr Relay, Bitcoin Node, all doable over at EasyDNS. And then for a couple of extra bucks on top of your domain, which you will get for half price, by the way, easy mail and domain share to further protect not only your data, but people who are using your website, ordering from you, reading your blog, looking at pictures of your feet, whatever. You want those guys to be protected too. And so Mark takes care of that for you for, I would say, a very reasonable price. That's my opinion. I think you guys will probably agree. So go over, use the promo code CBP Media, and get half off first round of buys. Can't beat that. Pay in Bitcoin if you like, though I don't recommend it. Don't sell Mark your sats. Pay in dirty fiat. Who's the second sponsor?
Well, you could pay your bills Vol Bitcoin with your Bitcoin, so that's options. Not only that, like Vol Bitcoin, it's non-custodial exchange. This is what you want, and they have been in this game for a long time. They're not going to rug pull you. They don't hold on to your sats when you buy from them, and when you sell it to them, you get your money right away. It's sent to your bank account. You do on-chain Lightning. I saw on-chain fees were starting to creep up today. I'm not sure
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's the cause for this, but still not enough of a cause for concern for you to start using alternatives at this particular moment. But if you have dirty fiat like I have in my hand here, thank you for this $1 Singapore dollar in my hand. Bull Bitcoin will be happy to take it. And so check them out if you are in Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, Western Europe, and a bunch of other countries too that I probably forget.
It's like everywhere except Narnia, basically. You can use
United States. That's the biggest one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and China. But they're not going to ever go to China, I don't think. They got your privacy in mind. They got your account in mind, because when you buy from them, it gets sent directly to the address that you provide them. Check them out. You can pay your bills. You can buy gift cards with Bitcoin. Lots of different options. Best in the game. I use them, and you should too.
Amazing. Third sponsor, 256 Heat. Are we doing the 256 Heat read now or before Brampton?
No, that's for the Brampton, man.
We'll save it for Brampton, man. I want to note we're also sponsored until the conference by the Canadian Bitcoin Conference. I mentioned Dan earlier, and I am thrilled to be affiliated with these guys yet again. I think though Len has not attended since the first year, I will say that the conference has been improving steadily. I've looked at the list of speakers this year. I've looked at the list of panels. I've made suggestions to Dan and Manuela, as I know a few people who are friends of the show have as well. And I will say, Len, that this year is completely 100% slop free. Great panels, a lot of good Canadians, which I really like. Canada punches above its weight in the Bitcoin space. I think a lot of people would agree with that. And when I was looking over the panel, I was really impressed. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the MC. I'm not just saying that because I get invited to speak or do something every year. Because I got better things to do with my time, honestly, than drive 8 hours or fly 2 hours or whatever it is to Montreal and, spend time away from my wife and my daughter. But I want to do it because I think it's a worthy conference of my time and of yours. So go and get a ticket if you haven't already. We don't even have a promo code. I'm not getting anything for this. I just think you should be attending that conference and meeting fellow Canadian Bitcoiners, because it's what's going to drive the mission forward. So yeah, I wanted to mention that as well.
Anything else?
Housekeeping.
I have boost.
Sure. I got one housekeeping thing that I'm going to spring on you here in a second. Yeah.
Well, okay. We'll do the boosts. Wartime. He's in this 4 different times.
what are people doing with the boosts here, man?
At 133 sats a piece. So he writes in the first one, this podcast has the most functioning knees in history. And well, now, I mean, we've always had that. Last week, 2 weeks ago, probably not. But now we're back at it. Knee podcast. Yeah, we're back at it. Wartime also writes in for 133 sats. He says, Joey's leg rug pulled him.
My legs owe me nothing, I will say. But yeah, keep going. Go ahead.
He also writes in Word with a couple of beer mugs, and lastly, a couple of beer mugs. Those are the 4 he writes in. Then
love it.
We have Jared 5,000 sats. He writes in, great conversation, Len and Dan. Regardless of which side of this ridiculous knots versus core drama Bitcoiners finds ourselves on, the greatest spam filter remains using Bitcoin for its intended purpose, a peer-to-peer digital cash and filled blocks with meaningful transactions. And that is 100% true.
Great comment.
I like the way he writes. Yeah. Thank you, Jared and Wartime.
Great. Housekeeping. This Wednesday we have nothing planned. I was thinking about
maybe I might have something, but it's not 100% sure. Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking about streaming the CBP fantasy draft for football is this Wednesday, and I streamed it last year, and it got a surprising number of views, which I don't know who would watch a fantasy draft stream. Certainly not my fantasy draft, but I don't think I'm going to do it this year just because I would rather spend that time just kind of half rehabbing my knee while I'm doing that. So I'm not going to do that this year. Len might have a guest, it seems. Next week, if I can work out the scheduling with the boys, we're going to be welcoming for the first time on CBP Air, the Bugle. Richard Greaser and Rod Palmer will be joining me for Wednesday night. Yeah, Len, you're welcome to join that one too. I don't know how much you listen to the Bugle, but if not, I'll be there. I'm going to try and work it out with them. Yeah, I'm going to try and work it out with them if I can. And if not, then we'll do it another time because I know it's kind of short notice and everyone's getting back into the swing of things here with work and school. So we're going to do our best to make it happen, but keep an eye out for that in any case. And I released a CBP quick current today for the first time in a while because I was obviously laid up. And so looking at some stuff about U.S. economic data collection in the wake of this BLS termination of the commissioner there and some other commentary on this show and others about the quality of the data that's being used to set policy, both economic and political in the United States and other places. So yeah, listen to that. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a mishmash, but there's a lot of acronyms and a lot of data points in there that I think are important. And maybe the most important thing is the transition that the US is undergoing right now, both because of the availability of certain technologies and also because of demographics and the ease of collection for that data. The long and short, it's never been easy, and I don't think it's ever going to get any easier than it is now. It's only heading one direction. So listen to that if you haven't already.
I don't have anything else to.
Let's get going. Let's rip it. 11:25. That's pretty good for you and me, especially on a rebound week. So let's jump in. Where do you want to start?
You know what? This is going to be a rather quickish Bitcoin side of things. I'm not sure if you've been following. There's not much aside from the drama between Knots and Core. I don't want to go any further into this.
Is the drama between Knots and Core, Len, really now just like Luke, Mechanic, and a few other people trading, thinly veiled personal barbs at each other on Twitter? Maybe. Like the case for Core and Knots has been laid out a million times at this point. And
don't forget,
and whatnot.
Adam Back is now involved here.
I know. I know.
And not doing just last comment I'll say about this. I wanted just to give it to you more than anything else because I talked about this at length. I'm not sure if you wanted to say anything, but Adam Back seems to be not doing the best of jobs with coming out with his PR firm. They got to beef him up. He's just doing a shit job. That's all I got to say. Do you have anything you want to say about this? Because I have nothing to say. This is one of the big things this past couple of weeks, and you weren't here last week.
Well, what do you think? What do you think what is the rational? I don't want to say the rational outcome because I think we both agree that you should be able to run filters if you want, and the pressure should be to the pressure should be toward autonomy with your node and all that stuff. But what is going to end this drama? Because I can't even go on Bitcoin Twitter anymore. My Twitter feed now, because I've stopped engaging with that stuff on the For You page, is now fantasy football, like strictly, basically nothing but. And so I don't know if anyone else's For You feed is like that now, but I care a lot more about who I'm going to take at the 1-2 turn in my draft than I do about what Adam Back and Mechanic say about Knots versus Core. Like, I just don't give a shit. I've never cared less than I do now. I don't run a node, by the way, obviously. So, but I mean, but even the node runners, Len, how much do you care to keep looking at this stuff? You don't either.
No. Going forward, then, if I didn't want to speak too much about this, if there's something in it that in one of the two iterations between Knots or Core that I don't like, then obviously I'm not going to run it. So that's what I'm going to look at moving forward. If something in there I don't like, I pivot. Something I like, I'm going to stick with whatever I have, whatever the fuck it is. That's the beautiful thing about this. You have choice. Pick whatever the fuck you want it to do. Run it however the fuck you want. Doesn't matter. If you can make it jump through hoops if you want, as long as it is in accordance to the Bitcoin network, and do whatever the fuck you want. But man, it's getting to be just nonsense now, I think.
Agreed.
I want to see us move on. All right, let's move on from that too. I think a big story this past week that hasn't really been touched on. Which I want to hear. What you
Anytime you lead like that, I just know.
No. The UAE government, it's suspected now that they may be mining Bitcoin, and they have been doing for some time. This is according to Arkham Intelligence. And this is from a report that was written by Arkham. They said that they have mined and are keeping 6,300. They actually mined more than that. I'll talk about that in a sec. But the 6,300 Bitcoin, the value of that was around $700 million as of last week. I'm not sure. It's showing the sats per what dollar per sats, but it's gone down in the price of Bitcoin. So probably 650 million. It's a lot of money, whatever the fuck it is. Either way, they're taking the Bhutan approach and they're using excess electricity to mine Bitcoin. And this is a wonderful way of doing it. They're not seizing it. They're not doing it. It's just essentially we have this excess. We're going to use this excess. And what are we going to do with it? Let's mine Bitcoin. Wonderful fucking stuff. And the company that is involved here is Citadel. That's the Bitcoin mining company. It's publicly traded, in fact. They're majority owned by the UAE royal group. So they have strong ties to the royal family in the UAE. And it's estimated that they mined around 9,300 Bitcoin in total. So they sold off around 3,000 Bitcoin, presumably for costs, running costs, or whatever the fuck. They could do whatever they want. But either way, mining Bitcoin, the UAE, they are the 5th largest crude petroleum exporter globally. So they're, a measurable amount of crude comes from the UAE. Wondering when they'll start accepting Bitcoin for crude, if that's ever going to be a possibility moving forward. Now, because they're mining Bitcoin, they now understand maybe there's going to be something there. But back to mining, they built a mining operation in this island called Al Reem that is near Dubai. And that was back in 2022. And satellite photos show the operation being built out. Interesting. This is a copy pasta thing for other countries in the Middle East that have excess electricity, stranded electricity, shit that is not going to be monetized in any way, shape, form, especially for stuff that is being flared or vented or sorry, it's so many different things. So they could do it with the energy that is just non-monetized. I like this. I think this is a bigger story than a lot of people are talking about because nobody is talking about this, but we are, and here it is.
So I agree with you that there's obviously an energy spin here. I don't know that it's the spin that I would focus on though. And I only say that because this isn't a wealth fund, obviously, but there's a number of vehicles that you would typically put money into, whether it's like the S&P or European stock market if you're really dumb, or Canadian stock market if you're really, really dumb, blah, blah, blah. I think that these offices are running out of places to put resources. And so instead of, thinking about how can I spend a couple $100 million on, I don't know, what would you buy? The Qs, NVIDIA, you buy some AI stocks. Why wouldn't they mine? I realize that the cheap energy makes it sort of possible. Like that's the straw that stirs the drink. But I think what's happening here is a lot of governments are looking at tools they once used and relied on and realize that they no longer can. And I don't want to conflate too much, government with United Arab Emirates royal family. But to me, they're sort of one and the same, especially in that part of the world. And I think that there's a real possibility here that what you're seeing is actually just a move away from traditional financial assets. Like, in the UK, for example, I was tweeting about this today. The long bond, it's undesirable. The US, same thing. You're starting to see rates tick up high, and people are wondering, okay, well, what's going to stop these things from going up? The question is not what's going to stop them from going up. The question is what's going to make those vehicles desirable again. And it's a problem with governance. It's a problem with stability. It's a problem with currency. So I think all those things together point people to Bitcoin, whether they want Bitcoin or not, whether they think it has value or not. I think what the other thing that's happening kind of slowly here is that even if you don't like Bitcoin, the sort of gap between Bitcoin down here, let's say I'm trying to adjust the new camera angle, the Bitcoin down here and everything else up here, as those things get worse, Bitcoin becomes more appealing. And at some point, you have to think about the opportunity cost of not having any Bitcoin if that trend continues to move. I think that's what you're seeing here. And I would expect to see more governments have done this already and are hodling like these guys are. And I would expect to see governments, like you said, they're going to copy pasta this as well. What's stopping, for example, Alberta from doing this?
That's a good question.
Nothing. And the tension between them and Ottawa continues to rise, continues to intensify. Those fault lines continue to become prominent. And Parliament's going to come back any day now. They're going to release a budget, and that's going to nuke the currency. The U.S. is printing like crazy. That's going to nuke the currency. And so you have two options, basically commodity money and Bitcoin, right? So it's gold, oil, whatever, and Bitcoin. And to me, it's like having none is bad. The other question I would have, Len, speaking of having none, how much gold and other traditional hard money are these guys holding? That's another question, right? Is 6,300 Bitcoin is a lot on its face from 0 to 6,300, 9,300, I guess, in this case. That's a lot on its face, but how much is it in the basket of other stuff they've done over the last, say, 2 years?
We don't know. The reason why we know this is a publicly traded company, and then they were able to figure shit out through analysis on the blockchain.
Arkham. Good work by Arkham, obviously.
If this is true, some people would probably say this is 100% true. We don't know for certain, but either way, in terms of the Alberta thing, we have upstream data that is located in Alberta, and you figure if anything, they would be, for sure, they have been talking to industry, to government for the last bunch of years. They're all trying to showcase. They have those units, those trailers they could just bring on site, and from there you have energy or gas can be combusted, turned into energy, mine Bitcoin, and Bob's your uncle. So they've been doing this for some time. So I'm sure there's got to be some operations doing it in Alberta. I'd love to know if anybody has any definitive proof. Send it over our way. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
And the copy pasta thing, like I say, other countries are probably doing it because they're not exposed to the markets. They're not publicly traded. They don't have to fucking report on shit. Like if Oman is doing this, what the fuck does Oman have to fucking report?
And also it's it's actually in their best interest not to, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Right. Let's the $5 wrench attack on a national level. Can you imagine what would that look like?
It's $1,000 Temu drones. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some 2017 level bullshit that's going on, because Google has thrown their name in the L1 blockchain ring.
Well, this is so funny. I can't believe this.
Fucked up. For people wondering what the fuck do I mean here, it means that Google is doing shit that even I am confused why they're doing it. I think Joey is equally as confused. It's the new Google Cloud Universal Ledger, aka GCUL, and it's a new layer 1 blockchain that is created by the data mining company Google. And what do they want this to be used for? They say it's going to be designed for capital markets and financial institutions. And they did this in a way that is going to keep regulators happy, but also be, as they say, scalable and secure. This sounds like XRP level bullshit to me. And included in this is KYC requirements, because they need this for audit purposes and for regulatory requirements. And any interaction with the layer 1 is done through an API, and there will be a monthly fee associated for it.
Of course.
So fees,
of course.
Those gas fees or transaction fees are replaced simply by a monthly. Such a Google way of doing things. And so you have to pay for the API usage and you get free transactions, from what I could tell. They say this could be used to convert traditional assets like commercial bank money, bonds, and securities into programmable tokens. What the fuck is Google thinking of by doing this? It's almost like a different version of XRP, but it's still a steaming pile of shit because it's still highly centralized. Google, they also announced partnership with CME Group. That's a major derivatives exchange. Whatever. If this came out in 2017 and I wasn't really active in this space, only the last month of 2017, I would say, okay, this is par for the course. 2025, what the fuck is Google doing? Yeah. Why are they doing this? What a waste of money. What a waste of time. What a waste of resources. What a waste of everything.
I remember when I was 31, I think. I can't remember what year it was. I was either 31 or 32 in the summer. Packing up to leave to drive home from Montreal, August 1st long weekend. And I was listening to an interview on some podcast with David Marcus, the guy who was behind the Libra attempt from Facebook. Basically the same thing as this, by the way, almost identical, right? Non-state, non-political money, in-house layer 1, programmable, partners, institutions, blah, blah, blah. You know, everyone knows the buzzwords, right? Everyone's seen the PowerPoint slides. This was immediately derided by Bitcoiners as stupid and a distraction from Bitcoin and blah, 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 and derided by regulators as illegal. We're not letting you start your own money without us involved. Okay. It's one thing if you want to sell tokens on Diablo 4. It's another thing if you want to sell tokens on Roblox, but non-state money from a $1 trillion company is not an option for us. That's where we draw the line. That's the line in the sand for the government. That was in 2017 or 18. If we look at this response now, in the Bitcoin space, what are we talking about? Me and you were laughing about it. Like, it's not even going to really it's not going to draw my ire the same way it would have 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think in the sort of tech space, we'll call it, or in the private money space, I don't know, what do you call Libra? Something of that nature.
That was a stable coin. That was specifically what it's
designed
to be, right?
Yeah. But like it's sort of the same. The stablecoin was on the margins of what it was, right? Functionally, it was private money. And
yes.
Yeah. And so this is private money controlled by Google, except now I think that there's an understanding from governments who will for sure back this, for sure. There's an understanding from governments that we need more surveillance, more opportunity to corral people if they're spending money in ways we don't like, and more opportunity to put the boot down in a lot of ways on people that are causing problems for the regime. And, I think Google is a great company to invest in, but not a great company to have whose boot you would not want on your neck. Okay. I'll put it that way. Google is everywhere. And if you think that private money run by Google, for us, you have to pay the small monthly fee for the pleasure, of course. If you think the small, or if you think the money run by Google is going to be any more free or free of, potentially harassing features, I would just remind you that this is the company who blocked searches on COVID-19. This is the company that will put a COVID-19 tag under this video. Maybe if I keep saying it enough times, the vaccines didn't work and they were all nonsense. This is the same company who, when you asked for a picture of the founding fathers, drew 4 black trans guys. Same company who looks through your emails for data, feeds you nothing but ads, like true advertising, an advertising algorithm ghetto. If you think that this is going to be free money, you're nuts. I don't think a lot of people think that, Len. The feeling I have is that people are tired of hearing about this and they just want to have something given to them as the next thing. That's the feeling I get, that they're going to eventually just land on a project they like, whether it's Google or Facebook or whoever. The government's going to back it, and that's going to be the thing people use. Or I'm sending you, pixel bucks or whatever. And I think it's just a matter of wearing people down until that fatigue is so severe that they're apathetic to what's going on in this private money space. I think we might be there now, honestly. And I think we're going to find out. Yeah, we're going to find out.
They want to put shit on blockchain that things don't need to be put on blockchain. For me, it doesn't make sense. But maybe their shareholders are going to like this. I don't know. Fuck them if they do, and fuck everybody that thinks this is going to make a difference.
Okay, so and the other thing too, like the idea that you run. So if you go to the post from this guy, the one in Omzi, great name, I think. I don't know, Omar's his name. Why do I need Python smart contracts for private money? Like I don't need all that stuff. Why do I need blockchain? Why do I need, why is scalability a feature? Like, it's centralized. I don't need any of that stuff. If you're going to do private money, it just has to work. And this other stuff is like a lot of buzzwords here, no direct end user relationship, USDC activity scattered across multiple chains. Like, I don't believe that.
not only do you not believe it, you don't give a shit about it. Like,
I also just don't believe it. Like, it truly is like just slop for people who have no idea what the fuck they're getting into.
As a Bitcoiner, it doesn't impact you one fucking bit. No. They could put everything they want. They could put
more likely scenario. 5 years from now, your plumber's asking for Bitcoin or asking for Google coin. What's more likely?
Bitcoin.
I think you're wrong, which is annoying, but it is what it is.
But this isn't really Google coin. This is
whatever. I mean, Circle coin, Circle Google coin.
That is going to be on running this GCUL layer 1 shit. Like, what?
It's running on the CUCK layer 1 by
yes.
Google. Yeah.
That's what people are when they fucking use it. All of them. All right, let's talk about this. So, if you're a 256 heat user, you have one of those heating devices at your home, you're mining for Bitcoin, you likely noticed something this past week with Ocean as a mining pool, because it's a pool of choice for people that use 256heat.com. Oceanites out there noticed that there was a outage, at least on the surface, it looks like, because sometime either late the 27th of August or 28th, early of the August, there was a bunch of hash rate that just joined on and was pointed towards Ocean, and it caused the network to have a spike in the overall hash rate, or in the pool's hash rate. And the pool hash rate jumped to around 300 exahash per second. That is incredibly high, considering that the overall Bitcoin network is around 1 zettahash, I don't remember. So that 300 exahash is around 30% of the overall Bitcoin network, or the entire Bitcoin network. And according to Ocean, when a quick jump like this happened, it triggered a bug which delayed payments. So there was no work that was lost. So people that were using their miners in whatever way you're using it to point towards Ocean, you didn't lose all the work that was done. It just, the payments in sats was just delayed. And either way, the delay was temporary. Payments resumed sometime after that. And we know somebody that mentioned to us this may be a speculated attack towards Ocean. I don't have any information to support this, so I can't really say anything beyond this. But given Luke's stance on a variety of things, and we're talking about filtering spam and shit like that, he probably made a lot of enemies. He has made a lot of enemies along the way. And to the point he lost his Bitcoin because he was running it on, or he's storing it on his fucking on his NES.
Every time we talk about this guy, I always forget that happened. I love
in a vacuum, if you look at Luke, if this guy came out of nowhere, people say, what the fuck is this guy all about? Like, you look at him, some of the actions he's done, some of the shit that's happened to him, you'd be like, this guy is fucking nuts. Why are we even listening to him? But either way, given his stance, he's pissed off a lot of people out there. And I'm looking at Marathon, for instance. They probably have a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of hash rate that's available to them. I'm wondering if they were behind this as a way to try to screw things up with Ocean. But I don't think so.
Do you want to talk about, maybe not give away the source, but talk about what the source pointed to as evidence that this was a coordinated attack on the Ocean
There
pool?
was a website, right, that showed...
It shows a bunch of different hash rates for a bunch of different pools. And suddenly there was a bunch of drops on major pools, and it just all pumped into Ocean for like an hour.
Joey, 300 exahash won't just spin up out of nowhere. It's got to move from one to something else.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So was it a coordinated thing? I don't know. It could be one entity that was pointing to a bunch of them. And it's, let's just point to Ocean for it. Like, I'm just looking at a whole different bunch of options that
right,
maybe,
right.
Like Bob Burnett, for instance, he points a lot of his hash rate towards Ocean, but not entirely there. So I would imagine other companies probably do the same. Marathon have their own pool though. So that's the one thing. Yeah.
Will we ever see anything on this? Will we ever see it? Do we care? I don't know. We were talking to Twan about it when it happened, because we were both like, something's going on with our miners. But, turns out that it was this that was going on in the background. You were able to pick up on that.
Yeah, it was the heaters. These heaters, man. These heaters that just mysteriously create sats for people out there.
Oh, go figure. That's so weird.
It's such a good thing. But we talked about spam. Let's talk about this next topic. And the U.S. government has entered the realm of storing shit on Bitcoin. This is a fucked up story.
What is the point? Oh, fuck. Keep going.
Yes,
sorry.
What is the point? Well, let's first lay it out before we go. What is the point? Because this is the Commerce Department. They decided to post their economic data on multiple sources, including Bitcoin. Aside from Bitcoin, this data ended up on Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Avalanche, Stellar, and a few others. Like, what the fuck? The U.S. government are now spammers, right? Like, just by doing this. Sounds like you and me are the same boat. Why? Don't get the fucking move. Publishing anything on any blockchain, be it Bitcoin or whatever, all it means is you fucking paid the fees. It doesn't mean the information is accurate. I could post that I'm Satoshi anywhere I want. Doesn't mean I'm fucking Satoshi. It means I just paid the fucking fees to put that on there. This is not a monumental moment in human history. I'm not going to tell my grandkids where I was when the U.S. government posted this shit on Bitcoin. I don't give a shit about this. Sounds like you don't give a shit about this. This is an embarrassing usage of op return, if you ask me. Why the fuck are they doing this?
Isn't the other thing to ask? This same government just said that the data collected is not accurate, and now they're putting that same data on the blockchain. This is the same government, right? Same people?
It's sure. It's
like, what is going on? Who cares about this? Who cares? Whose idea was this?
I don't know.
It wasn't fucking Lutnick's idea. Like it wasn't Trump's idea. Whose idea
Trump
was
Jr.
it?
But fucking that month.
He doesn't know anything about this. Whose idea was it?
You
know whose idea I think it possibly was?
The guy behind Bitcoin Magazine.
Maybe.
Right? Right? See, all roads for scamming and spamming lead to that individual, right? Every one of them. And they just, what the fuck does this do to advance Bitcoin? Does nothing. It's not a fucking database. We're going to use this I'm going to send you money. You're going to send me, just the way as Jared described at the beginning of the show. This is a peer-to-peer electronic cash. I don't want to store fucking data on there. Fuck, even like people are making fun of Luke when he stored shit from the Bible back in the day on it. Like, granted, it wasn't an inscription, but like whatever.
There's not one right answer about like what can go on there and what can't go on there. You have to be ideologically sort of consistent, and like none of this. There's no need for whether it's Bible verses or JPEGs or BLS data. Like it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't put it on there. And if you do, like, don't make a big deal about it. Who cares, right? Does it even matter? No one's going to look at this ever again. Are they going to put the revisions up there too? We're going to see some revisions go on there in 3 months. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe not.
What a waste. Luckily that the fees
didn't spike the fees. Yeah.
Well, the fees. They didn't put a lot. So luckily the fees are cheap. And it's not like, oh, what a waste of taxpayers.
Yeah, fees
money,
are still only 2 sats of eBite, right? They're super cheap.
It's very cheap. So that's why, like, what a waste of it. This only cost them a few bucks, right? Like, it's not like it was a big thing. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really add to the debt. It's just the idea behind it and what's going to be happening moving forward. What other data are they going to want to store? Why would they want to do this on Bitcoin and all these other, like, why just do it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Shouldn't, if they publish it on their website, should that be enough? They control the website, and it's out there, and there's archives of that and shit. Like, isn't that enough to say, yeah, okay, that data is posted on that date, and I can review it on the archives? But whatever. It's a stupid use of opportune, if you ask me. The United States government spammers. They are spammers, right? They have crossed
in this instance, yes,
they crossed the threshold. The Nostr users out there, they now have another tool that they could use, and this is actually going to be interesting for you, Joey. The app called Damus is now available for Android users. Up until now, it was only available on iPhone, and currently Damus right now is only available on GitHub. So you have to go to github.com/damus-io /damus.io and then check it out there. The code is available for anyone who wants to see it. Mostly written in Rust for all you Rust fans out there. Soon will be available on the Play Store, just not there yet. So if you want to get it, you have to go on to GitHub and grab it from there. And it's a pretty popular app from what I gather on the iPhone side of things. So iOS users like this as the interface of choice with Nostr. And really, it's just another option available for people out there. I'm not sure how many people use Nostr. I'm not sure how many people wanted to see Damus come to Android, but we have it now. It's good. For me, I use Amethyst, and I like Amethyst, but I will try out Damus just to see if it's any different, any better. But check it out. Just an option out there.
I switched from iPhone to Android today, and I was using Damus on my iPhone for a few years. It's pretty good. And you know what? I think the big thing to talk about isn't how good it is compared to Twitter or to whatever else. Twitter's always going to be a little bit ahead in terms of UI and sort of quality, but it's come a long way. Like the delta between where it started in terms of usability and feature set and now, like it's a canyon. We see people posting these like trendy kind of Damus only video blogs. I should start doing that too and start posting once in a blue moon on Damus in video form. Maybe ACL rehab stories or something. But you know, like the thing to keep watching, Len, is the number of competitors that pop up here. I would like to know from, I guess somebody in the know, you know, maybe Will Castron or whatever. How many users? What's the DAU on Damus? Is it over 1 million? Is it 500,000? Is it 50,000? How many people are using that app, that service every day? I'd be very curious about how that has been trending. And I don't have a good source for that information, but I think that's key too. And as you see that those numbers grow, you know, there's certain thresholds you cross where you expect to see more competitors in the space. You may remember back in the day, before before Twitter became a censorship app. There was so many different Twitter apps that were better than the Twitter first party app that, they decided to just shut it down and close off the API to everybody else. Damus and Nostr obviously not like that and wouldn't see that happen, but you should see the other side, which is more competitors popping up and trying to use the app because there's more users there. And you want to feed those users, certain ads or certain whatever. I guess I actually can't even do that because the model's a bit different. But I do think there's going to be more competitors because the more people use stuff, the more, same as in Bitcoin, the more minds and eyes come to a certain, silo, the more people think, yeah, I could do better than this. I could fix this or that about this app or that app. And I expect to see that with the proliferation of Nostr clients too.
Remember when Twitter, as you mentioned, they got rid of those third-party apps?
Yeah.
That was
I was
under
traumatized
Elon's
by
watch.
that. I was a big Tweetbot guy. Tweetbot was the best Twitter app. Nothing else was even close. Tweetbot 2 and 3 were unbelievable apps for Twitter.
I never used them, but that was an Elon initiative. He was the one that spearheaded
It was before.
that.
It was before him. But
You sure? I
yeah.
thought this was all under his watch.
Tweetbot got nuked a long time ago, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm wrong.
You can see when did Twitter?
When did Elon buy Twitter? I'm gonna guess it's 2022, 2023.
Yeah, something
That's
like that.
Let me take a look at that.
Oh yeah, maybe Twitter killed third
So
party.
it's 2022 October was when Elon purchased it.
And he killed all that stuff in 2023. Wow.
Yeah, so
maybe it was an unofficial killing by charging for the API. Maybe that's what it was. When did Tweetbot go offline? Tweetbot went offline. No, 23 too. Wow, it was that recent, man. It was such a good app. Tweetbot,
so this was an Elon
that
initiative.
app.
So he's the guy to blame for all this. Or
God damn it!
I know.
Talk about a false bill of
Fucking
goods
guy.
this guy sold us over the last 2 years, eh?
That
Just
fucking
one
guy.
after another. Yeah.
Now he's
How about
starting
some more
this new party.
Get some more H1Bs for your new party. Yeah, bring them in.
What's the party name? Make America Great.
I don't know.
What the fuck is it? America First?
Indian Programmers Unite.
No. Is he against that H1B?
No, he was for it for a long time. He may still be. I don't know. I mean, these guys are all just importing cheap labor. We should talk about LMAs tonight, and
we will.
Garner specifically, yeah, because I
we'll
like what's happening.
do one more Bitcoin related story, and then we'll move on to the rest
Sure.
of the side. So Nunchuck Wallet, they rolled out a new feature. I'm not sure if you ever use Nunchuck, but it's that app that you use for your phone. It's got support for a bunch of different hardware or signing devices.
The big thing that people use with Nunchuck was tap signers, right?
Tap signer, yeah, a Blockstream Jade, Ledger, Cold Cards, and I guess you could use it as a watch only as well for yours, so that way nobody could, you just basically keep track of what's going on with your stash. But either way, they are enabling support for Miniscript in Nunchuck, and what this does, it opens up capabilities out there for more advanced types of features for people out there. And you could do like time lock, shit like that with Nunchucks moving forward. And they have implemented two main templates, decaying multi-sig template and expanding multi-sig templates. Those are two right now that have been set up. So I don't want to get into each of the two. I just want to say that they have the mini script that is now enabled in Nunchuck, which I love to see. And I'm not sure if Cove has this as well.
No,
I hope they. And I'm wondering if this is something that will be. I'm going to talk to Praveen offline.
Praveen is really trying to keep Cove simple, but I think there's a lot of stuff that my personal view, he'll probably add to it because he's too technical. He's too technically proficient to not add some of this stuff in an easy way. I think he'll be able to do it. Plus, he just had his open sats renewed, right? So he's got a little more funding ramp now.
I'm thinking along the lines that you could have a slider bar or not, just a tick. Advanced features on or off, and then if you have it off, you won't have this shit. But if you have it on, at least you do have it. I'm gonna talk to him offline, give him some ideas. If he rolls with it, I'm gonna get a cut of whatever you
might get a message from him during the show if he's watching. Like, listen, bro.
All right, that's it for the Bitcoin. And like I say, it was a little bit light in terms of news. It's still just that more than anything, what's dominating my feed is Mechanic and Luke and Adam Back. I don't know who else is on the other side. Beside Adam Back, he's the one more prominent figures. Man, he's not looking good these days. Not physically, at least with his stance. He's proposing some things, and he was talking about shit being encrypted, and people say it's not fucking encrypted when you store blobs of data. Like, It's just like he just doesn't know, and he's just been getting called out.
You know what
on
pisses me off about
ignorance.
that knots versus core thing too? That these guys just post screenshots of each other's tweets instead of tagging the other guy.
There's a reason why.
Why? They're
Because
blocked.
when you tag them, then you get more impressions to the other person, and when they get more impressions, they get when they're
They're gaming
monetized.
the algorithm. Is that what they're doing? Yeah.
Correct. So if you, and I'm gonna give something. I'm gonna give some inside baseball information for myself. I don't block people. I mute people, and my mute list is massive. And so the reason why I do that is there's no way anybody knows that I muted them. If they blocked you, there's some sort of way to find out. But if you mute them, they don't know. And what that does on my side, none of those interactions showed up in my feed. And as a result, not that I mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but it's just my way to protest against those people I don't like. And they're not going to get any sort of reward from posting anything. Their interactions, it's not showing all this shit. That's my way of doing things. So I think that's the reason why they do it, is just to try to hurt them financially.
Maybe. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that.
That's it for the Bitcoin side of things, Joey. We could scoot on over to the rest of the news.
Let's do it. Okay, if you're on audio, come back tomorrow. If you're on video, stay here. We're not going anywhere. We're about to talk about all the latest and greatest and notable news. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Don't be a spammer.